so my 4 builds for Annie Nobi, we're going to be covering Annie. Now, leaders are in an interesting position because most people think that leaders are kind of in this awkward position right now since the last update, where you either run like 2 leaders or 3 leaders with a support, and if you're usually it's a hunter or a warrior, depending on if you're running like, if you run like 2 leaders and it's something like Arthur and Ash, or it's Annie and Ash. If you run Annie and Ash, you bring a hunter. If it's Arthur and Annie, or if it's Arthur and Ash, you're bringing a warrior plus a support. Or sometimes 3 leader or support. It's a bit squishy lineup. A lot of people really don't want to play leaders right now. Because right now the meta is really around either hunters, because range weapon damage is still insane, or it's around warriors because of the balance part. Now Annie, to me, she always seemed to me to be an alright leader. Her main benefit is that she plays well in pretty much any comp. If you have a team that has multiple hunters, instead of bringing a warrior, you might want to bring an Annie. If you're bringing a lineup that has multiple warriors, it depends on what they're building for. Sometimes it's more beneficial to bring Annie for the balance bar damage than it is Arthur for the melee, but I still say damage is king over the balance bar in my opinion. Annie's really good because she can fit multiple roles. Now the first thing to understand is her starting passive did get buffed. It now grants you and all of your teammates 25% bonus range weapon damage. This is much more significant now that the higher rarity range weapons got nerfed. People talk about, oh my god, Annie, you know, well, it's overkill on hunters because hunters still do a lot of damage. You don't really need it. Same thing with her active ability lasts for 15 seconds and it boosts the bonus damage by 30%. This is what it always was. It was at 100% before, which was a typo. Although on occasion it did activate at 100%, which is why it was there, but it was meant to be 30%. So what this means is when you activate your ability, you get 55% bonus weapon damage to your ranged weapons. Now, this is really good for hunters, but it's also really good for you because of the fact that you can spec pretty well into ranged weapons. Your other 2 abilities are also fairly good for helping you with the warrior side. Your level 10 is Haymaker. Attacked by you and your teammates, deal 25% bonus damage to the balance bar of basic units, possessed or non-possessed. Now, it's important to note that it's only around basic units right now. Now, a lot of people have said that Annie's stock has kind of dropped because elites have become more meta. Her level 25 is based around elites and bosses. There's 25% balance bar damage to elites and 100 to bosses. This means she can melt boss balance bar damage. Range, melee, doesn't matter. That flat bonus to balance bar is really good as an aura. It enables her to just make everybody better at F-chain. She's a very high survivability character. In fact, the first time I actually soloed a boss was as a low-level Annie. I was, I think, level like 5 on Annie, and I soloed an Elagos. Excuse me, I am sick for this video and the next 3 videos. But she's kind of the jack of all trades, master of none, unfortunately. And let's cover your build. So your first build with her is going to be your basic leader build. Alright, so this is what every leader wants to spec into. So you're going to have your 4 points into Great Influence. This makes your aura beneficial. And the reason why this is so critical on her, I see people skimp on this, and I don't know why. This is the new hot topic to like skip. Oh, you only need 1 point into it to access the tree. No. You have to look at the difference between, you're looking at roughly a 23-foot radius difference between 1 point and 4 points. You need those 4 points. In addition to that, all 3 of her passive abilities are auras. She literally provides nothing outside of auras, which makes it even more critical that she work towards the aura-based trees, even though people ignore those. So you're going to put your 2 points into Artful Dodger. You do only need 1 point in order to get the extra dodge, but the extra 2 points to me is more valuable. For the sake of the video, we're just going to put it at 1. You need at least 1 point for Deep Pockets ammos, but she's going to play around range a lot, so I would put the 2nd point in. You need 1 point in I Can Still Help. This makes it so if you become a soul or a bleeding out, until your soul gets picked up, you constantly are providing your aura, which is good for if your teammates are trying to get you back up. You need your 3 points into Industrial Strength to boost your health, make yourself a little bit tankier. and 1 point into Echoes of an Aura. Now, in my opinion, you don't necessarily need that point into Echoes of an Aura, but I would still run it given that all of your powers are based around auras. So this is your bare minimum build that you need on Annie. So we have 13 remaining points to spread out how we will. Which, by the way, I'm going to make it 12 because I'm putting that last point back in Artful Dodger. I'm sorry, it's just for that. So we have... So now, let's start building around a couple of other trees. The first build I'm going to give you is the meme build. This is a strictly objective build if you want to focus on bum rushing and letting your teammates do most of the work and you're just there to provide an aura. If that's the case, you want to put 4 points into Fast Forward. You want to put 1 point into Cardio, 4 points into Arcane Knowledge. And your remaining 3 points you can kind of put wherever. Personally, if you're going for this, I would recommend you run Seeing Stars at 3. So, because that's where you're going to get the most value rather than putting like 1 point into Stopping Power and 2 points into Hollow Points. This will just buff your balance bar even further, so now you're benefiting 50% balance bar off your melee attacks. This is definitely the meme build. I'm not a fan of this build specifically with Annie. I think this works better on another character because she can do so much damage. She's basically a mini hunter or a mini warrior, but if you do want to play all of your leaders as very objective, go-focused type characters, this build does work well. The 1 point in Cardio is just to get access to Arcane Knowledge. This increases your detection range by 70%, and the Fast Forward makes it so that timers decrease by 15% faster. This is not a build I would recommend at all. Now, talking about builds I would not recommend, this is a complete melee Annie build. So for a melee Annie build, I'm still leaving my 3 points in Seeing Stars. I'm kind of just leaving that on Annie no matter what. I'm putting my 4 points into Devastating Force. I'm putting my 3 points into The Last Word, and I'm going to put 2 points into Stopping Power just for the balance bar damage on the ranged weapon. This build is designed around the fact that she's already getting potentially 55% bonus range weapon damage. This is good if you don't like playing around guns. If you want to be more of a brawler and take advantage of your balance bar, this, in my opinion, gets the most value out of your balance bar. Because of the fact that taking advantage of your balance bar, now you get 15% bonus melee, now you're getting bonus damage on Last Word. In my opinion, though, you're less effective on this build because you're not really building that much. So for the last build to show off, this is the build that I run. So, we're keeping that Seeing Stars there. I'm putting my 1 point into Stopping Power, like before, so I can get access to Hollow Point, which I want, and Wig Splitter. Now, in my opinion, you have two options here. So this is actually going to be kind of a bonus build. Personally, I like playing Annie with the revolver. I have not lost a game with Annie where I have picked up a blue revolver unless I have run out of ammo for that revolver. And the key reason is because I can build around the Wig Splitter. And that one remaining point I can shove into Stopping Power. Like I said, there's not really a lot of great places to put 1 point into on this character. I mean, you can put 2 points into something, I guess into Cardio if you want to take it off Artful Dodger. The other way you can go for this tree is to build her for both melee and range. The downside to this, though, is you kind of need to have a preference in combat as to what you want to go for. I kind of play her as a backup hunter. I like playing her as a second hunter. In a 1-1-1-1 comp where you have run one of everything, having a support and a melee, a support and a warrior focusing on melee, and your leader and your hunter focusing on range is a pretty good split so that you're not burning through ammo. So because of that, I don't really want to put too many points into Devastating Force. I personally prefer that. Now, normally I wouldn't put the extra point into Stopping Power, but I really don't have anywhere else to go. And the balance bar damage off ranged weapons are alright. If you want to move that point somewhere else, like I said, there are not a lot of options. Echoes of an Aura, maybe. I don't care about an extra matchstick. I don't care about the amulets. 2% melee is not helping me. 5% objective timer is not helping me. 5% cardio is not helping me. So really, my only option is there, unless I want to take that point out and go for the melee. In my opinion, in terms of to end it, I'm actually going to end it on the other 2 leaders with the builds that I'm currently running on them, just because I need to tweak them. If you notice how my Arthur is built... I could take 2 points out of Arthur. I don't have anywhere to put him. My Arthur build is still the same, focused entirely around melee, and beefing up the melee. He has that same issue with the 2 remaining points, so unless I want to put that into cardio. But if that was maybe maximum stamina, I would like that more instead of just cardio. Maybe that doesn't make sense. But Arthur's build still plays around melee to such an absurd degree. And on Leader Ash, my Leader Ash build is still the same, playing him as primarily the objective-focused character built around the chainsaw with the balance bar and the dismemberment damage there. He's the character I do want to build around the fast-forward timer. A quick note, because this is the last video on leader builds specifically, so I'll showcase this on Annie. So a lot of people still do not understand how the Master of Influence perk works. This strengthens the effect of your aura, not by a flat 20%. So it is not buffing the aura on your howitzer by 20% up to 45. It is buffing it by 20% of its current total. So if you have that at 4 points, you are going to be buffing howitzer up from 25% to 30%. Same thing, Haymaker's 30%. Slugger for elites is 30%, for bosses is 120%. Arthur, I'm going to break down the numbers on Arthur too, because people really don't understand on Arthur. Both of your auras are 30%. You're buffing that by 20%. That means you're increasing it from 30% to 36%. Number still has not changed. El Jefe Grande. That number did get changed relatively recently. It was 2 patches ago. So 15%. So you're increasing that by 3%, up to 18%. Look at the sheer amount of points you'd have to spend. 1, 1, 1, 4. That's 7 points for very minuscule numbers. You're looking at either 18%, 30%, or 36% in most cases. 7 points is not worth it, especially when you can see what you can do with those points. So, in my opinion, if you are choosing a leader, I'll kind of shoehorn this in, I guess, just for extra padding. So Annie is definitely your preferred leader of choice if you are playing multiple hunters. Multiple hunters, she's what works. Arthur is your leader of choice for multiple warriors. For multiple supports, I would probably run Leader Ash, just because he's a better, more balanced thing. A couple of leader pairings that do work well. Arthur works very well for characters who want to spam certain melee attacks. So obviously he pairs well with warriors, he pairs well with the support. We had like an 8-game winning streak, me and a 2-stack of mine, because we paired up either one of the warriors plus a support Ash and an Arthur. And we were rotating who was playing what, but we got an 8-game win streak in a row. Didn't matter the demon, didn't matter the map, didn't matter the pink F. We literally won everything in the way pretty much by just swinging until a rando scooped up Arthur. Excuse me. But Annie can play well in a similar build. If you're building around Balance Bar, she's an interesting choice for 2 warriors. In my opinion, though, you do not want Scotty in the 2 warrior setup. You want an Army of Darkness Ash, and you want a Henry. If you are not running an Army of Darkness Ash, Annie kind of loses value, because Army of Darkness Ash wants Balance Bar so he can get finisher kills. El Jefe is the best option if you want to run a balanced lineup of one of each, because he's not going to do anything egregious. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're a team specifically looking for balance bar damage and finishers, you want to play Annie. If you're looking for a more generic option, you're going to play Ash. In my opinion, both of your leader options here between Annie and Arthur all come down to if you're in a team or not. Solo queue leaders should definitely stay with Leader Ash. So that is my thoughts and my builds on Annie. This is the final build overview as to what I'm running on her. And with that,